We are adjourned. Thank you all.
We are adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wrap. Holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck. Where do we even begin? They cut us out of the libraries. Our access to the library community room has now been removed. Not only did they vote to approve that policy that we looked at on previous meetings, I have copies of the policy posted on our website, blackrabbitcollective.org. Not only did they stand their ground on removing public access from the Silva libraries, but they took it a step further because they realized how they were getting it wrong in adopting two policies for each library. So what did they do? Instead of just leaving things as they are, they decided to go ahead and cut cashers out of that library room policy. So now nobody in the county is able to rent those library rooms. I'm sure more will come from that conversation in future meetings. I do real quick, like something that's like kind of important and very Black Rabbit is the I voted sticker contest. I don't know if you saw this online, but we need to rally. We want people to vote. The Black Rabbit Collective, let me just pull up my website. The Black Rabbit Collective has endorsed one sticker, right? We are going to ask y'all to vote for one sticker. So let me arrange my situation here. If you go to, it's on all the social medias and stuff like that. But if you go to my website, blackrabbitcollective.org, right on the main homepage, you can find both the flyer for the sticker contest, but then you can also find a link to the actual ballot to vote for the stickers. And so scrolling through real quick, there's some beautiful artwork, lovely art from the kids of Jackson County, but the Black Rabbit Collective has decided to endorse Wesley Nieheisel of the upside down American flag, because that's what it feels like right now here in Jackson County. So if you're watching this stream right now or on a playback, please visit the website, click that link, submit your vote. We want Wesley Nieheisel to win this sticker contest. I want to wear that sticker out of the Board of Elections office on November 3rd. I want to wear that out of there. I'm traditionally an anti-sticker person. It feels like a virtue signal. People slap it on, wear it around. It's like it's like a privilege thing. And so I always just walk right past them. They try to hand it to me. I tell them, no, thank you. I do not carry a I voted sticker. Personally, I will carry the Wesley Nieheisel upside down American flag I voted sticker. So take a few minutes, visit the website, hit that ballot, submit your vote. You don't have to take my recommendation on the sticker, but just submit a vote, because this is actually a cool thing that they do, incorporating the kids into this whole thing. But the Black Rabbit Collective supports Wesley Nieheisel and the upside down American flag sticker. Please go and vote for that. The concerned citizen is wondering if they ran any of the policies through the county attorney. The county attorney really seems to Daniel, the middle school did come up. They did set the public hearing for it, but we're going to get into some of those boring samples conversations here in just a couple seconds. The county attorney is totally about co-signing their nonsense. I had this whole thing with him, this back and forth last month about public information and what's allowed to be public. And basically, I'll just go ahead and show you right now, this page right here, Miss Jenny Lynn Hooper's new county commissioner's page. She started it on June 3rd, and it is like 100% official. Like, she has in her header, Hooper, county commissioner. In her bio, she has the address of Grindstaff Cove. She has her county commissioner email address, and her website links to the Jackson County Board of Commissioners website. She started posting in early June about county business, right? She started talking about, immediately she started talking about the budget and all the things that needed to be cut, and kind of like what her plan was. And she's been all over the place with it. We're going to look up at a post on her page in just a second. My man David Rogers is the latest post that she has. My boy couldn't even put his cocktail down for the photo op. He just rocking the cocktail. But so she started talking immediately about the budget back in June on this page. And so I started talking about that, and immediately I started getting all these messages from constituents of Jackson County asking me if I was blocked from her page, because they were. There's like a handful of people that came preemptively blocked. Like, she created the page and she automatically started blocking constituents. People noticed this pattern of people coming to me and saying, windows to the wall. That thing just dropped out for a second. There's a bunch of people that are blocked. So I did a public records request. Don't forget to hit that QR code up there in the screen to submit your I voted sticker contest. Jenny Lynn Hooper's blocked list. I wanted to see the list of accounts that she blocked automatically upon creating this account. And yeah, Jenny Lynn Hooper blocked me before I knew her page existed. You are not the only one. So I did a public records request, and there's precedent set. The Supreme Court has set precedent for this very specific scenario, in that when a representative, when a government representative acts in this manner, that this is considered public record. And Mr. Kubis got back to me and he said, I'm sorry, but this is considered a personal page. I'm sorry, this is considered a personal page. And I responded to him and I said, I'm sorry, there must be a misunderstanding. You must be looking at her personal profile. And I included the link to this page. I was like, I'm talking about this page right here. And then I referenced the Supreme Court ruling that stated that in these circumstances, it is public record. And he responded back to me and said, I have reviewed that case law and it does not meet the criteria for being a public record. And I cannot understand how that could be possible. Look at that page. Oh, I closed it, didn't I? There, it's still up. Look at that as official county business, including the page says elected official. Everything on it says that. And I just don't understand how he could have got to that point. So I said all of that, concerned citizen, to tell you that there it is right there. Thank you for your, I don't know that Mr. Kubis can be trusted, concerned citizen, based off of my experience in interacting with him. I just don't know that he can be trusted. Thank you for your public records request related to the Facebook account of Commissioner Hooper. In reviewing this matter, there are no public records responsive to your request. Commissioner Hooper's statements on her private Facebook account are not public records, right? And I'm just like, wait a minute, sir, I don't think you're talking about, I think we may have been a little bit of a miscommunication. And so I included a screenshot of the page, a link to the page. I included why right there, explicitly categorized Facebook as an official page, all the things there I just showed y'all. I cited the Supreme Court ruling, and he came back and said, thank you for following up on your request. By means of clarification, there is no mistake with regard to the Facebook account in question. We have reviewed the same account and thoroughly evaluated the public record requests pursuant to link key in our initial determination. Applying link key to the facts in question, there is no actual authority for state action. And that is their out right there. Because there, and this is just his interpretation. I don't know that this is the law, and I don't know that would actually hold up if we had an attorney or somebody that would be willing to push this First Amendment issue forward. But they say in the link to for it to qualify under this linked key Supreme Court ruling, one of the things is that the person has to have actual authority for state action. And his interpretation of that is no, Jenny Lynn Hooper does not have authority for state action because she's a 5-person board. So it takes a unanimous vote for that board to have authority, and no purported act or attempt to exercise that authority. In sum, the speech depicted on the Facebook page does not fall within Chapter 132 and is not public record. And this is the fucking line that just gets me, dude. The county highly values transparency and access to information. Then why am I waiting on another public records request from June? It is now the end of July, Mr. Kubis. Here, the content at issue is not a public record under applicable law. Now, I'm finding cases of this happening across the country. There was a mayor in the state of North Carolina that got sued by constituents and lost for an almost identical thing. And their only out is that she has no actual authority for state action because she's a member of the committee and she's not acting on her own. She has no power by herself. She only has power with her committee or with her board. So, yeah, it's difficult for me to answer that question, concerned citizen. I'm sure they ran it by him, and by what it seems in my interactions with him, it seems like he just kind of co-signs their bullshit, dude. He doesn't even show up to the meetings. He lives in Asheville. He's always zooming in. Have you ever seen him at a meeting before? Have you ever seen Kubis in person at a meeting? I have not. So, buzzwords, right? Buzzwords, right? Data centers is a buzzword. And so now they're aggressively approaching it, going after this data center moratorium. I think it's unnecessary based off of my reading and understanding of the Unified Development Ordinance. Me and John talked about it at the beginning of the episode. We went through it line by line. It is practically impossible for a data center to come on. But flock cameras has been a heavy buzzword over the last couple months across the nation. And I know there was like a viral post that went around a couple weekends ago where you started seeing the bubbles pop up on the map in Jackson County. And so we're going to take a look at that map real quick. And you can just go to dflock.org, and I'll show you right now. You can go to dflock.org and you can take a look at their map and see where the flock cameras are located. I've looked at this map over the course of the last year or so, and up until just a few months ago, the map was blank. There was nothing in Jackson County. There was a few to our neighbors to the south over in Macon County. There was a few to our neighbors to the east over in Haywood County. And so when you pull up the flock cameras map for this area, when you pull up the map, boom, look, there's some stuff going on here all of a sudden, right? So these two down here are in Macon County. Those are the Macon County ones. And you can click on it, and it'll show you the ID number, who it's made by, and the latitude and longitude for it. I'm going to open up that link and see if we can get any additional information. We do not have any additional information. It just says public surveillance. Shows exactly where it is. It looks like it's right by Rockhound Ridge Gem Mine. But So he started looking around, and you'll see that there's one over at WCU, which I have yet to lay eyes on it. I'm unfamiliar with it, but there's one over there at WCU. There's the latitude and longitude. Some people have asked me for that recently, and there it is. You'll see these two up here on the 4-lane up in Balsam going over the mountain. And those are, see, when you click on that one, when you click on the WCU one, it's just very basic. It doesn't show you a whole lot of information. But when you click on the Haywood County ones, it tells you that it's operated by the Haywood County Sheriff. And then there's one right next to it, Haywood County Sheriff. And then look around Haywood County, doggy. They are all over the place, yo. Maggie Valley, they're everywhere. Cherokee is lit up like the 4th of July. But in clicking on all the actual Jackson County ones, there is the WCU, and then there's the two right here at Lowe's. They're both in the Lowe's parking lot across the street from Smoky Mountain High School, which is also kind of weird being in that proximity to the high school. You know, there's kids walking back and forth along the sidewalk and cutting through that parking lot nonstop. But there's 2 flock cameras right there in the Lowe's parking lot. And then there's one out by Gateway Flea Market right here. And I actually laid eyes on that one yesterday. It is like inches away from the road. If there was like a traffic accident, big truck, traffic accident, I don't know. It looks like it's at Lowe's. You see, because it's on this side it's north of Webster Road, and it's like off to the side. Like I thought the SECU is like over that way, but I could be wrong. It looks like it's positioned at each Lowe's entrance. Hang on, my cell phone's ringing, so bear with me. Hang tight. It looks like they're right at Lowe's, but I'm not sure. Just give me a second. It might have been a guest caller. It could have been a guest. That was my main phone. But both Lowe's and Home Depot have exclusive contracts with Flock. They do. And these flock cameras at the Lowe's over here came late. Like all the other ones, I used to be before I worked at my current job, I was like a sales rep, and I was in a different Lowe's establishment every day of the week somewhere in Western North Carolina, and they had them all over the place. So those two are at Lowe's, and then there's one out in the 4-lane, and it is right at the end of Gateway Flea Market. So like if you go to the very end of Gateway Flea Market, it is so close to the road. It was like 9-10 o'clock last night when I drove by on my way back from Robbinsville, and it is inches from the road. An accident could totally take that out in no time. It looks risky business. But that just like got me thinking. I started, so like 6 months ago, there was nothing here. There was no cameras to be found. I'm not going to necessarily explain the ins and outs of flock cameras. They are a buzzword. They're on every news network right now. You can look them up and get all the information for how they like operate and stuff like that. I'm just saying it is sketchy surveillance that we do not need or want in this community. So the one out there, but that got me thinking. There was like, okay, they're popping up all of a sudden. And just a few months ago, there was no flock cameras on this map. This map was a ghost town. There was nothing there, nothing going on. Yeah, I think it's just at each entrance, because you know how Lowe's over there has 2 entrances. And so I think they have it at each entrance. There was nothing going on. But then mysteriously, as soon as folks started talking about it online, Jenny Lynn Hooper shares, she does it just recently, July 18th, Jenny Lynn Hooper shares, without any comment, no original thought, just shares a post from Clay Bryson. I'm assuming he's from around here. Yeah, we got some mutual friends. But he's talking about over the past several weeks, I've seen a lot of misinformation being shared about flock safety cameras. As someone who works with this technology, I want to take a few minutes to explain what these cameras actually do. And he goes on and on and on to just kind of like defend flock cameras and talk about why they're good and all that. So again, county commissioner's official page. I don't give a fuck what the attorney says. It says right there, elected official page, county commissioner's official page, and she's posting pro flock camera content, right? She is posting camera content. Literally, the post, right, 8 days before, but the post right before it is all about data centers. I understand the people of Jackson County have concerns surrounding the issues of data centers. Here is what the county is doing about it. And so essentially, she's posting pro flock camera content while simultaneously going after this data center moratorium. And I'm sorry, but why do you think that we need data centers? Because of these mass surveillance technologies. Where do you think the information provided by these cameras, where do you think it gets processed? It gets processed in a data center. Sorry, my internet was interrupted. I don't know. I was disconnected from the internet. An anti-data center. When the data centers are the ones that are actually processing the flock camera information. And so I'm sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what happened. I think my Spectrum momentarily conked out. Hardwired to the PC and it's still disconnected. So how can you be pro flock camera and be anti data center? And so that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, Jenny's promoting flock cameras. Jenny Lynn Hooper is promoting flock cameras on her social media page. She's going after data centers. They're popping up all over that map when just a few months ago, and also why do they need one at Western? Just a few months ago, that map was empty. There was zero. There was nothing on it. And so I thought to myself, let's start poking around in the commissioners' meeting minutes to see if we can find any reference to flock cameras at all. And that search returned 2 hits. I have 2 results over the last couple years where on paper, flock cameras were discussed in a county commissioners meeting. If you go to the county commissioners meeting minutes, the notes from that meeting, you will find the words flock cameras. But if you roll the tape of the meeting, you don't find flock cameras. It was never mentioned in the meeting. So I present to you first Exhibit A. This is the county commissioners meeting from May 20th, 2025. And this is the one where, so John earlier, that big long list of public comments that were given that night, in support of the library. It just was like a moment of reflection for myself, seeing all those names on that long list. And I'll show you that again one more time, just because in the spirit of what we went through tonight with banning us from the library rooms, banning us from utilizing the library rooms, and it being a year, 13, 14 months later, and I found this meeting minutes that mentions flock cameras. I start scrolling down, and there's the big long list of names. All of these individuals, a page and a half. Daniel C. Shields, you're in the chat right there, baby. I see you, son. All these people went and supported the library, and they still voted, but they care about us, and they want to hear public comment. So I encourage you to go to the Jackson County website, locate the meeting minutes for 2025. And if you pull up the May 2025 meeting, I'm just going to do a quick search right here for flock. It's not that hard. Whoops. Boom. One result. Okay. This particular meeting, I know we just got done going over budget stuff in June. This particular meeting was in May of 2025, and Kevin King presented to the county commissioners his budget proposal. And so it is when he goes in front of the county commissioners and he explains the budget and he recommends that they approve it. And if you go to section C, which is on page 4 of this document, under capital improvements, Kevin King went before the county commissioners on this day, and he told them that he wants to set aside $1.5 million for equipment, and he left it at that. I'm not going to play the tape from that meeting. You can go back and watch it, only because the audio is terrible. It's too low. I can't hear it. If I was to play it for you, you wouldn't be able to hear it. But he goes in front of the county commissioners and he's going line by line. He's going, boom, equipment, vehicles, improvements. And he lists off a couple things. He does not say a word about flock cameras. Okay. He doesn't bring it up. But reading under this equipment line for $1.5 million, highlights under this category includes computer, servers, printers, software, garage equipment, recreation equipment, law enforcement flock cameras, guns, and emergency communications equipment. It was recommended the majority of these expenses be delayed until after the audit was complete. Well, the audit was complete. And so Kevin King suggested that these funds get put into like a contingency fund until the audit takes place. And I can't find any reference of those funds ever being released, right? The audit took place. They did have the audit. We just went through the results of it back in January. The audit happened, but it appears that they may have set aside $1.5 million with a portion of that for law enforcement flock cameras. Doug Farmer just went in front of the county commissioners and asked for additional money for salaries, right? They just voted to have a public hearing on a data center moratorium, but they're co-signing these flock cameras. And it doesn't make sense. It does not add up. So I thought that was weird. I couldn't find any release of the contingency funds for the flock cameras. Kevin King has been in the news on social media quite a bit lately. He's catching some heat from the social media influencers out in Swain County. He is catching heat. You're hearing his name on social media, and his name is going to be a pattern in much of this stuff tonight. So it appears that they set aside $1.5 million for a bunch of equipment, one of which includes flock cameras. And they asked that it be delayed until after the audit was complete. The audit was complete. I can't find reference of that money being released. I can't find reference of it. So I'm like, okay, maybe they were just planning on it and decided against it. Like, what could it be, And I kept searching through the minutes. And what do you know? But literally almost exactly 1 year later, on May 19th of this year, we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm not going to go through the public comment section because there wasn't that many. But almost a year later, so we did all that last year. We put the money aside. I can't find a line item for it in the budget either. He has it buried under equipment, and I just can't find it in there. I don't see any reference. I don't see a matching number to that. So we go a year later, May 19th, 2026, just a couple months ago. We are going to run the same thing back. Pull up those meeting minutes from the archive on the county website. We're going to search the page for flock, one word, flock. And what do we have? An identical statement, a legit identical statement. Capital gains and capital improvements. They dropped the amount down by $200,000. They're asking for $1.3 million. And it's the exact language. It's literally a copy paste job. It's exactly the same. Highlights under this category include computer, servers, printers, software, garage equipment, recreation equipment, law enforcement, flock cameras, guns, and emergency communication equipment. Same deal. It was recommended the majority of these expenses be delayed until after the audit was complete. Have we heard this before? So what is going on with Kevin King sneaking this line into the meeting minutes when he never said those words out loud in front of the county commissioners? He asked for $1.3 million for equipment. He did not ask for $1.3 million for equipment, including all of these things. But it made it into the meeting minutes. Somebody explain to me how that happens, right? Where is the money? Where is the public hearing for this mass surveillance infringement on us, the citizens. We didn't ask for this. It's literally buried and snuck into the meeting minutes. Can't find a record of it on a budget. He did not say the words when presenting to the county commissioners. Do the county commissioners even know? Because he did not say it out loud. They're not reading these documents. They've already proved that. The majority of them aren't reading those documents. They've already reviewed that. DJR, if you're driving home tonight, dude, if you're driving home, bro, hit us up, cuz. Let's finish that interview that you just gave with John earlier. I should have thrown that up right away. If you're tuning in, DJR, call the lines. 873-997. The phone is plugged in. Woo, smacking my lights around. How did the flock camera conversation and line item make it into the meeting minutes when it's not on a budget? It didn't get spoken into the public record in a meeting. How did it show up there? Somebody tell me. I do not understand. Yeah, I did see that. We're going to end with that. We are going to end with that. We're going to handle this respectfully too. I think it was an accident. But we're going to handle this respectfully because, unless they do something, then we respond. But if they're back, they're back. So I just don't understand. We're not done doing the digging on this. Flock cameras are showing up, and they are in our meeting minutes 2 years in a row in the budget discussion. So where is that money? What are your plans, Kevin King? You just so casually sneak it into the meeting minutes, and then ta-da, poof, nothing to see here. Where is it? What is happening? We're at 2 hours and 9 minutes, and my voice is very strange that it made it into the minutes like that. Who types up the meeting minutes? Does anybody know who types up the meeting minutes? Is it Darlene in there? Or who is actually the one that's typing them up and taking the notes? Because, but the audit was complete and they didn't do anything. Because it's 2 budgets in a row, 2025, and then again this year, 2025, 2026, and then 2026, 2027. It's in both budgets, like identical wording, like total copy paste job. I knew this was going to be a fun stream. I talked about this group before. I knew this was going to be a fun stream when I stepped out to run some errands today at work, to go and pick up some things and do some business. And when I returned from running my errands, there was the most beautiful strawberry cinnamon roll delivered to my place of employment by Mean Maple Bake Shop. So fire. My homeboy Cameron just hooked it up. He just popped in out of nowhere with one of the most amazing strawberry cinnamon rolls. Y'all got to go see Mean Maple Bake Shop at the farmer's market. Hit up my boy Cameron. It was such a game changer for the day. I knew that today's stream was going to be fun after I shoved it. The middle school referendum, we're going to be facing with voting on it in November. They want to spend. All right, we're back. I'm going to close up a bunch of these tabs, but I don't know why that would have anything to do with it. They're going to try to pull on your heartstrings coming up because they don't want to take responsibility for all the crazy spending that got us here to this point, to where everybody's asking for money, right? We're feeling it. The economy's tough. Inflation's hit all of us. Y'all heard Farmer today. Every meeting that we watch, somebody's in there asking them for money. But it was brought to my attention, this middle school project, things are getting a little crazy. And I just want to highlight a couple things that I have discovered over the last week. It is not, this will turn into a whole segment on a regular episode, not a watch party, but this will turn into a whole segment in a future episode once we have a little more data. Maybe some of those records requests come back. That could answer some questions for us. So I was asked this week, do you know if at the middle school project, a geological survey was ever completed? And I thought to myself, that's a wonderful question. I'll check the meeting minutes and see if there's mention of it. I'm sure they did some due diligence to find out, what that's all about. And what I discovered is that, for one, every county commissioner voted for this project every step of the way. There was multiple votes that got us here to this point. They had to vote to purchase the property. They had to vote to take the loan. They had to vote to hire the people. They had to vote to buy the extra properties on top of it. There's like multiple votes. Every single one of them was voted approval, a unanimous approval. Every single one of them, all 5 county commissioners voted for, because it sounded wonderful. Like $52 million from the state. We could build a middle school, something that we've been talking about for years and years and years. And then this referendum was brought to our attention because they're blaming it on inflation. They're blaming it on hitting rock. But reading through these meeting minutes and stuff, I don't have clarity that the due diligence was done to prior to the purchase of this land, prior to the start of construction. I don't know that there's no evidence in the county commissioner meeting minutes that that actually took place. So what I did discover is that they were going to be doing what Kevin King called soil borings. And what it sounds like that is when they drill down in there, take some samples out, and test it to see the density and the rock and what's down there and what it's made of, right? They do what's called soil borings. And apparently it's common practice for projects of this scale. It is essentially similar language or similar to a geological survey. Digging through the meeting minutes, I found on August 5th, 2025, Kevin King presented to the Board of Commissioners in this process of ushering this thing forward. Kevin King reported to the county commissioners that soil borings would go out soon, right? That's on August 5th, 2025. Soil borings are going out soon. A few months later, in October, King shifted the narrative, told the commissioners in meetings. This is all from the meeting minutes, and you could watch it back on YouTube. October 21st, 2025, King says that the soil borings are being done, right? They're being completed. And then a month later, November 18th, 2025, after stating in October, so in August, he stated that soil borings will go out soon. In October, he stated soil borings are being completed. In November, he walked that back a little bit, and he stated that they are getting close to getting the site plan to soil borings. So in October, they're going out soon. I'm sorry, in August, they're going out soon. In October, they're being done. And then in November, they're getting close to being done. However, after the November 2025 meeting, there's never another mention of the soil borings actually being completed. He never came back to the county commissioners and stated, yes, the borings have been completed. Here are the results. Yes, we've done the borings. We're good to go. That never happened in the meeting. So one can only question with this group. Again, Kevin King, right in the front of it, right in the middle of it, never stated that they had been completed. And so I just have to ask, were the soil borings completed? Do you have the results, Mr. Kevin King, Jackson County Commissioners? Did the Jackson County Commissioner review the results? They had a pretty extensive due diligence period where they were tasked with doing this stuff. So I have to ask, was it done? I don't know. I guess the public records requests will tell if they ever get back to me. Right now, they're giving me the silent treatment. Bill Davis looked me in the eye and told me that he got me my public records request back immediately, and then literally has ghosted me ever since, right? It's been like almost a month. June 29th is when I submitted my most recent request. And it's a simple search. They could literally just type some buttons on a computer, do one query, one search, and provide me what I'm looking for. They are freezing me out. But I don't have any record of the soil borings being completed. And so I just have to wonder, we're going to keep pushing that envelope quite a bit. Hopefully talk to some experts, get some people on here to like kind of dig in. Michael Jennings on the June 2nd work session, just a few weeks ago, Michael Jennings stated after the second builder contract voting for the $60 million ordinance and seconding the land purchase, he stated on the record. So on June 2nd, during the work session, Michael Jennings stated on the record in the meeting, you can watch it, he is not for the middle school to start. He was not for the middle school to start with, and he is still against it. Michael Jennings seconded the building contract and voted for the $60 million ordinance. He voted for everything. He approved all of it, and now he's walking those words back. Now he's saying he was never for it, right? Y'all have to remember, it is an election year. Now, Jennings and Jenny aren't up for re-election, but this is like a party thing. Like they're trying to show that, oh no, this is their attempt of being perceived as fiscally responsible. This is their attempt at being perceived that way. What's up, DJR? Call in, baby. Call in, DJR. I got the line open, bro. I got the line open. But this is their attempt to walk that back a little bit. This is an inability to take responsibility for your actions. That's what this is. An inability to take responsibility for your actions. Jenny's done the same thing in the last couple weeks. During the June 8th meeting with the school board holders, it's shady. Like they don't want to take responsibility. Nothing on the record shows that they have done the due diligence to build that middle school. And now they're putting it on the referendum for y'all to vote on, knowing that the majority of folks are probably going to vote for it because it's for the kids, you know? And I'm sorry, but it's a mismanagement. It's a mismanagement. Hit that QR code in the top corner, scan the I voted stickers QR code, and go submit the survey. We want to make sure that my boy, I'm gonna throw it right back on the screen again. We want to make sure that my boy right here, we want to make sure that the upside down American flag by Wesley Nieheisel gets approved, wins this thing. I want to wear that thing out on November 3rd. I want to wear that out of the Board of Elections office. That was weird. I heard a funny noise. We have been chatting with Amanda Allen at the Board of Elections, the director of the Board of Elections. We've been chatting with her. I have a meeting with her tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. in person. We are going to be discussing live broadcast on election night. We're going to be outside of the Board of Elections on election night, bringing y'all the results. It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. Please submit your ballot for the I voted sticker. We want to get Wesley Nieheisel the big W. And then also if he wins, we want to give him something. Give him some kind of award for being the top dog of his class. Yeah, I think that's it. Is there anything else? What am I missing? I'm missing one thing. Should I go get the puppy? We adopted a new puppy. I haven't shown her off yet to anybody. Should I go get the puppy real quick before I end the stream? There's only 6 people in here right now. Should I go get the puppy to show her off to y'all? I probably should. There's a concerned citizen still down there. Yeah. I don't have a commercial to play at the end either. Damn. That was fun, y'all. The meeting wasn't as popping off as much as I thought it would. But there's valuable stuff that was taking place in there. Don't fall for it. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. I'm going to get the puppy right now. She's been barking the whole time because daddy's in here in the office. I'm going to go get the puppy real quick. It's puppy time, y'all. There we go. This is Miss Dot, little Miss Dottie. She is a Chihuahua Dachshund mix. We'll show her off to the camera. Say hi. Say hey. Yeah. She's such a sweetheart. She's a wildcat. She's a firecracker. She will fucking chew your face off if she's not happy. But she just woke up from a nap, so she's real happy right now, aren't you, baby? Say hi to everybody. Say hi. She wants to lick the microphone that I've been shouting into for the last 2.5 hours. There's my baby right here. You'll see her out and about with me. Once we finish the vaccination schedule, you'll see her out and about with me roaming the streets. She has a bunch of like chew toys and stuff, and she's like really good with like chewing on her bones and everything. But her favorite thing to do for attention is I just keep these little bowl and blender acai bowls that I buy from the smoothie trailer over there by Ray's Florist, and I just let her like nibble on the bowl. That's why she was trying to get the bowl the whole time, because she just wants to like chew on the side of it, and no pieces like break off. She just carries the bowl around. But thank y'all for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We hope to have a new episode out this weekend on a deeper dive into all of these topics. Got some potential interviews. And also, I got a case file on one candidate that's concerning. I got a case file document, piece of paper that was dropped off to me that's like this thick of documents on one of the candidates, and it's not DJR. It's not DJR. But I'm digging into that story. That'll be coming in the very near future. We have some exciting stuff happening. So, yeah, I guess that's it, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. That was a lot of fun. I will catch you. We'll be back on August 4th. August 4th. The August 4th episode, we're going to the beach. And so I think I'm going to be doing this live stream remote from the beach is kind of my plan. We're going to be down in Panama City for a week. So we'll see how that goes. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Do not forget to go vote for the I voted sticker. So we can get that upside down bad boy, get that upside down hitter. She chewed on my microphone. All right, gotta go.